All right, y'all. So listen, we back with some more craziness, conspiracy theories, all that type of stuff, man. But before we get to the madness, I need y'all to help me unplug some more people out of the matrix, man. And you do that by hitting the like button, then putting hashtag unplugged in the comment section. All right, and subscribe if you're new. Let's get to it.
And Jeremy Corbell is a documentary filmmaker who played a big role in bringing these questions to the public. If he looks familiar, that's because he was sitting behind Fravor, Grush, and Graves today in that testimony.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
Jeremy,
yeah.
thanks so much for joining us. I gotta say, though, man, pilots seeing weird stuff flying around in the sky is one thing, but someone coming along and basically saying what sounds like exactly all of the UFO crash conspiracies I've ever heard growing up, and then saying, I can only share details in a skiff with people who have clearance? Like, come on. What's your take on that?
Gotti, I think you know my take, which is that it wouldn't be shocking if you had been paying attention. Why David Grush can't say these things in public realms is because he's a whistleblower. He is exposing something that's been going on a long time. And I'll tell you, I was there all day, days before, helped set this up. They wouldn't allow for a secure facility for him to speak just today. So you have to understand, it's only shocking if you haven't been paying attention. Today was a historic day, Gotti, and I think you understand why. We have never had people of this credential and credibility, not just saying they saw things with their eyes, but backed up by sensor data. These aren't just pilots saying they saw something. These are pilots testifying to what's already known.
And one of the most bizarre parts of today is this back and forth where it was like, hey, I want to tell you more, but I can't. We'd have to go into the skiff and you'd have to have clearance. So what happens now? Grush says he's turned over a very specific list of names, hostile witnesses and cooperative witnesses, and specific locations, or a location where a craft may be or crafts may be. Like, what happens next, and how soon are we going to see some of these Congress people go into skiffs and get some of these possible briefings from Grush?
Yeah, so that is correct. So people have to understand that David Grush, so he came to George Knapp, my mentor in journalism, and me first. He came because of reprisal. He came because he was fearful because of this reprisal. We took a lot of time and vetted him. He came forward to the world. He is a true whistleblower, a patriot. He is doing this because it is the right thing to do. It's what he was taught to do. Now, why he can't...
Now, that's the thing. Like I said yesterday, man, you can kind of sense if somebody's lying to you. They're not being genuine. You would kind of, for the most part, I'm not going to say some people won't slip by you, but for the most part, you can tell when somebody's being truly genuine, honest, and giving the information the best of their ability. I received all of that from him yesterday. Like, he came off as being confident. He didn't seem like he was lying. He didn't fumble his words. He seems like he knew what he was talking about, what he had heard, what he had seen, what were the facts, what was all the information surrounding everything that he can gather up to his clearance level. And that's everything I got from him yesterday. So I see people saying, you know, it's a lot of people that joined our side. It's interesting. Yesterday was an interesting day. A lot of people contacted me. A lot of people came up to me. A lot of people wanted to talk to me about it. And I'm like, yo, we've been saying this for a long time now, man. It's just good to finally feel like people don't look at you as crazy anymore.
He is doing this because it is the right thing to do. It's what he was taught to do. Now, why he can't speak openly right there in the public congressional hearing is because he has an ICIG, which is an Intelligence Community Inspector General complaint, a whistleblower complaint under the Presidential Protection Act. This is literally, the world is watching David Grush right now. How we handle David Grush's account, what he saw, what he knows, is how everybody else who is willing to break from the fold and tell the truth to the American public about the presence of UAP or UFO, which is fact, it is true, it is real. But how you get these people to come forward is how we treat David Grush right now.
Agreed.
Let's investigate his claims like the Inspector General did, and by the way, found it credible and urgent what he said. So they found his claims through their own investigation to be credible and urgent. David Grush is telling you how it is, whether or not you can accept it.
If 10, 15 years ago, you would have said, like, what are the chances of us hearing this in Congress? It would have been slim to none. I ask you this. What do you think the chances are today that Grush believes what other people have told him, but that he's been fed lies and misinformation and some sort of psyops?
You know, I can understand that perspective from watching it through television. Honestly, I'm just glad you are covering this, Gotti, because this is news, and your network is covering it because it is news. And sure, what yesterday could have been, we can say, hey, this is unusual to understand today, but those people attacking David Grush and his credibility, this is your time to do your worst. Everything has failed. He is absolutely who he says he is, and I can't wait for him to be able to tell his full story publicly to everybody, because the American public, they don't only have a right to know, Gotti, they have a need to know, because the implications of what he's saying, if they are true, which they are true, Gotti, but everybody should make that determination on their own. This is not somebody that's coming forward as some sort of shill for an intelligence agency. He is going against the grain here. He is trying to be a patriotic American, and you know what? He's succeeding, and it's pretty incredible to watch.
One of the things we heard about today was pictures and video and sensor data. And you had at least one member of Congress saying that he had seen a picture of something that he just couldn't explain. And then we've heard talk about classification and what shouldn't be classified. Do you know of pictures and imagery that would just stop everybody in their tracks if it was released today?
I think you are highly aware that I know of these, because I've obtained and released a lot of them with George Knapp. However, I know that there is more coming, and I really hope for ultimate transparency. Look, when you have AOC on one side and you have Representative Tim Burchette on the other, and they are agreeing on a topic that everybody can get behind, it gives me hope. This gives me hope that we can unite and get together on things, even if we disagree. Let's find out the truth.
Facts.
And we are now at a critical moment, a critical point where the right questions are being asked by the right people. And let me tell you, it's a pressure cooker. The meetings I've had today, what's going on here in D.C. and where this is going, I think that there's nothing now that can stop whatever the truth is, whatever UFOs, UAP represent to humanity, which I don't know the ultimate answer, but whatever it is, we're going to learn more, and that is encouraging.
It's crazy to think that this is what it took to remind us all that.
Now, one thing I may disagree with him was on the whole part of, he was like, nothing can stop it. I'm like, I don't know, man. I just don't deny the powers that be that they can't do something to stop this, bro. I'm just not that sure that this thing is going to play out like we would hope, you know? Because they've held it, they've kept it in secrecy for so long. Like, to me, that's them displaying that they'll stop at nothing to make sure this stays a secret, to make sure they still have control. So to just think they're just going to give up now, I just find that hard to believe. It could happen, and if it does, great, but I'm just not getting my hopes all the way up.
That we're all human. Last question. Do you know of any specific times, or does it look like he will be going into a skiff with members of Congress anytime soon? David Grush.
I would have to imagine that the answer to that would be extremely soon. However, that's not just the end goal. You have to understand, just educating Congress that they've been lied to, that there's been misappropriation of funds, which is theft. Okay, just letting them know that is not enough. Telling them this is not enough. We need active participation in exposing this information and being honest with the American public, who deserves the truth but has a need to know what UFOs or UAP, what it means to us that these are real, which is undoubted. There are machines of unknown origin, and this is a matter of strategic surprise from a national security issue. We cannot have something happen where we don't have a 360 view. But Gotti, I'll tell you this, man. It is so far beyond just national security and strategic surprise. If this is correct, then this changes the fabric of our understanding of what it means to be human. And I myself am encouraged that we're going to learn more extremely soon, not just through bureaucrats, not just through the legal system, But there are other ways in which people get truth out, and I'm excited for that.
Wow.
I'm glad you're encouraged. I'm glad you're excited. I am frustrated because it seems like the truth is out there. It's just inside of a skiff that I don't have.
No, Gotti, it's
top
inches
secret
closer
clearance.
every day.
Yeah, that's why we unplugging more and more people out of the matrix, man. Y'all keep spamming that like button.
Hey, you've been on this beat. You've been on this beat, and you know it is inches closer every day. We're learning more factual information every day. To have Commander Fravor and Lieutenant Graves up there today telling you these facts, what they experienced, that is a huge leap forward. You've never seen it before in your life, and you're going to see more of it.
Yeah, at this point, I don't care what it is. I just want answers. Jeremy Corbell, you have been so instrumental in all of this. Thanks so much, brother.
Thank you.
To discuss this historic hearing, we have Dr. Stephen Greer. He's founder of the Center for the Study of Extraterrestrial Intelligence, also the Disclosure Project. We welcome in Professor of Science and Astrophysicist at Harvard, Avi Loeb, as well as retired U.S. Navy Chief Master at Arms and investigative filmmaker Sean Cahill. Thank you, all three of you, for being here. And I know all of you watched every moment of this today. Sean, I actually want to start with you because you were an eyewitness to part of the Tic Tac incident that was described today. What is your reaction to the hearing today?
I was quite emotional watching the hearing today. It's been a very long battle to get this information out, to get it treated with respect and with dignity. A great deal of the information that was useful to most people is classified, and it required the pilots and other eyewitnesses to come forward. So I'm very heartened by what happened today. We have truly crossed the Rubicon. This is a very historic event.
Is there a moment in...
I say he got emotional, fam. Like, do you really understand what we're sitting here? Like, you got to kind of have like an out-of-body experience with this, you know? Like, we really are having this discussion. We really are talking about this. We really are bringing out truths about this. Something that's been a mockery and a joke for I don't know how long now. Just do you realize what we're doing?
Happened today. We have truly crossed the Rubicon. This is a very historic event.
Is there a moment in particular that made you particularly emotional today?
It was towards the end of the one of the gentleman's speeches where I believe it was Representative Burchette, where he acknowledged all of the people who have worked behind the scenes over the years to keep this alive and to not allow it to be obfuscated to the point where it was completely disregarded. I represent a great deal of those people, and I work with them every day, and you may hear it in my voice right now. We have truly achieved something revolutionary today, and I look forward to the results.
Yeah, I really feel that from you. And Dr. Greer, what stood out most to you today?
Well, I think it's really gratifying. You know, I've been briefing people like the CIA director for Bill Clinton since 1993 and been recommending hearings like this, open hearings. I will say there are a few points that need to be explored. One is Mr. Grush actually can speak about anything he found out about these projects because we can prove in a court of law that they've been run illegally. In other words, senior people in the White House, Pentagon, Congress, Senate Intelligence Committees that I've met with have been denied access. So therefore, the National Security Act is vitiated in terms of secrecy so long as those programs are being run illegally, and they are being run illegally. I can say that with some direct authority. And secondly, I think it's very important for people to understand there are two types of UAPs. There are the man-made ones, no question. My uncle was lifetime Northrop Grumman, worked on the lunar lander module. I think we have to understand that a significant part of the phenomenon is actually clandestine but illegally managed human reverse engineered advanced technologies, as they're called, ATs. And some are non-human intelligence, there's no question. So I think this needs to begin to be looked at more critically in terms of what part of the phenomenon falls under which category.
I mean, it's fascinating, and what a can of worms. We could be talking about this for the rest of the show. I do want to get to Professor Loeb. What is your reaction to the hearing today?
Well, I think what's most important is the evidence, the information, the factual information that we heard. You can think of yourself as a member of a jury, learning about what the witnesses are talking about and trying to decide whether it's credible and what your verdict might be. To me, the existence of materials and potentially objects that were retrieved by the US government is of greatest significance, because if it's true, this information should be shared with scientists. The government is not a scientific organization. The government should not hide the existence of neighbors in our cosmic environment. This is a subject that scientists should be engaged in, and in fact I am. The sky is not classified, the oceans are not classified. This has nothing to do with national security, because anything coming from thousands of light years away doesn't care about how we split the land on this rock. We need—
Agreed. And I like how he called them neighbors. It just seemed to me like he was trying to take the sting off the word alien. You know what I mean? That word is it's just like he wanted to take a little sting off of it. Call them neighbors. I guess that's the way to put it, though. A way to look at it. They are.
Of light years away doesn't care about how we split the land on this rock. We need to know whether such a thing exists, and for us to figure it out, it should be a matter of science. So let's forget about people dealing with people, which was a lot of the discussion. What we need to worry about is, what do we have as material evidence? Let's look at it and study it scientifically. And I very much hope the government will release that information and provide it to scientists like myself. I lead the Galileo project, which is aiming to bring clarity to this subject.
Sean, I want to go back to you with the time we have left. What is the most important thing that you think was left out from today's hearing, and where we should go next?
Well, I agree with Dr. Greer and Dr. Loeb on the importance of the scientific efficacy and providing evidence. As a law enforcement officer for 20 years, we need to see this as a law enforcement operation. Mr. Grush is the reporting officer. The evidence is very important, but the people's stories and the people's observations of these events are equally as important. So marrying the technical data with the observational and anecdotal data will be the most important part of this going forward, I think.
During a public hearing in the US Congress, there were moments that reminded some of a science fiction film. The hearing aimed to address allegations that the government is concealing its understanding of unidentified objects. The hearing received significant attention, both in the United States and globally, as it featured testimonies from 3 crucial witnesses, one of whom was David Grush, a former intelligence official who blew the whistle and stated in June that the United States possesses alien vehicles that are either fully or partially intact. In recent years, there has been an increase in the visibility of unidentified objects as a news topic. The US military is making efforts to actively investigate the limited number of sightings that cannot be easily explained. During the proceedings, no groundbreaking information regarding extraterrestrial beings was revealed. However, witnesses made surprising claims, leading to a prevailing belief that there is a hidden agenda within the US government. According to David Grush, who was in charge of analyzing unexplained anomalous phenomena within a US Department of Defense agency until 2023, the US government conducted a long-term initiative to collect and study crashed unidentified objects. Grush stated that he was denied access to classified government UFO programs and faced severe retaliation for making these allegations. He also mentioned—
See, that's what the guy meant earlier. Something was in my eye. That's what the guy meant earlier. This is very important how Mr. Grush is treated, because that's going to allow others to come forward who have more information to disclose, who have more truth and transparency to give us. That's going to allow them to feel comfortable. How Mr. Grush is treated on this stage right now determines how far we get with this thing.
That he had information about individuals who had suffered harm or injuries as a result of the government's attempts to hide UFO-related information. David Grush started the hearing by saying the following: "My name is David Charles Grush. I was an intelligence officer for 14 years, both in the United States Air Force, active duty and International Guard and Reserve. I was my agency's co-lead in unidentified anomalous phenomena and transmedium object analysis, as well as reporting to the UAP task force. I became a whistleblower through a PPD-19 urgent concern filing in May 2022 with the Intelligence Community Inspector General. Following concerning reports from multiple esteemed and credentialed current and former military and intelligence community individuals that the US government is operating with secrecy above congressional oversight with regards to UAPs. I have taken every step I can to corroborate this evidence over a period of 4 years while I was with the UAP task force, and do my due diligence on the individual sharing it. This is because of these steps I believe strongly in the importance of bringing this information before you. I was informed in the course of my official duties of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program. He was then asked, "If you believe we have crashed craft, as stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?"
Yes.
Grush responded with the following. "As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries." He was then asked if they were human or non-human biologics, to which Grush said that they were non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program that he talked to that are currently still on the program. Anonymous have recently come forward and said that they are looking for whistleblowers, and even set up a website in order to make this easier. They said the following. "The intention of this website is to direct you to a safe place to leak information securely to Anonymous. We understand that the information we are asking for is of the highest classification of top secret that probably exists. Their activities have spanned a broad spectrum, from opposing censorship to supporting global protest movements. Amid their diverse operations, Anonymous has shown interest in investigating unidentified object sightings and advanced life, an area typically shrouded in secrecy and often dismissed by mainstream scientific communities.
Which makes Anonymous perfect for the job. Oh man, this thing is gonna get good.
Endeavors are motivated by the same principles that drive their other operations: a quest for truth, transparency, and the conviction that information should be freely accessible. One such endeavor was coined by some of the members as Operation UFO, initiated on World UFO Day back in 2011. Anonymous called for a global tweet storm to pressure government authorities worldwide to disclose any concealed information about unidentified objects. While this operation may not have directly uncovered new evidence, it highlighted the use of digital platforms to engage with and promote discourse around the phenomenon. In a more direct approach, Anonymous has allegedly infiltrated secure databases to seek evidence supporting extraterrestrial life. While confirming these claims can be challenging due to the group's nature, several purported anonymous videos and documents circulating online claim to have unearthed classified information related to unidentified objects. An example includes a 2017 video where an alleged anonymous representative stated they had evidence that NASA was on the verge of announcing proof of advanced life. The claim, largely based on a misinterpretation of a NASA scientist's conference talk, was ultimately debunked. Yet, it illustrates Anonymous's willingness to delve into the realm of unidentified objects and advanced life. The activities of Anonymous in this domain present a fascinating study in the democratization of investigation. Traditionally, investigations into unidentified objects were limited to official bodies, such as Project Blue Book by the US Air Force or private research groups. Anonymous, with their cyber capabilities, challenges this status quo, presenting an alternative, citizen-led approach to investigating such phenomena. The group's activities in this field also raise significant questions about the ethics and legality of their methods. Hacking into secured databases, even in pursuit of greater transparency, remains illegal and poses serious security concerns. This draws attention to the broader debate around hacktivism, posing difficult questions about the balance between transparency, privacy, and legality in the digital age. If the existence of unidentified objects, specifically advanced life, were to be officially confirmed by global governments, the resulting disclosure would unquestionably have profound implications for society. From a scientific perspective, disclosure would catalyze a revolutionary wave in research and development. Many previously unexplained phenomena could find fresh interpretations within the context of confirmed extraterrestrial existence. Moreover, the study of these advanced beings and their technology could potentially lead to significant advancements in various fields, such as physics, biology, engineering, and medicine. This could be a profound epoch of scientific growth, with potential benefits spanning from novel technological applications to a deeper understanding of life's nature and origin. Religiously, the impact of disclosure could be momentous. The confirmation of advanced life might challenge the core beliefs of various religious systems that primarily view human life as unique. However, this might also lead to the emergence of more inclusive interpretations and philosophies that integrate the existence of extraterrestrial life into their worldviews. It could prompt a spiritual renaissance, fostering greater unity and global consciousness.
Agreed. This could bring us together. This could teach us about ourselves. We could learn things about ourselves. You know what I mean? Once we get past the initial shock of learning about this, for those who've been on the other side of the fence and just completely refuted this whole idea of there being other life forms and stuff like that, once we get past that, there could be so much good that comes from this. You know what I mean? You just have to have an open mind and figure out and come together and put our heads together collectively and figure out where do we go and how do we use this to our advantage. Like, man.
The political impact of such disclosure would be significant. There might be an immediate call for global unity in response to this new shared reality, potentially dissolving divisive nationalistic sentiments. The focus could shift towards global cooperation and joint space exploration efforts. However, such a transition might not be entirely smooth.
True.
Conflicts could arise over access to and control of alien technology, and the potential for militarization could provoke new international tensions. In the socio-cultural sphere, confirmation of advanced life could stimulate immense curiosity, fear, excitement, and even disbelief among the public.
Yep.
There might be a period of adjustment as societies around the globe grapple with this new reality. It could also lead to a renewed interest in space exploration and a more cosmopolitan perspective on our place in the universe. On a more individual level, the disclosure could incite existential introspection. Many people might question their place and purpose in a universe that is now known to host other intelligent life forms. It could result in an increased sense of humility, connectedness, and respect for life in all its forms. Moreover, economic sectors could be significantly affected. Entirely new industries could spring up around the study, interaction, and exploitation of advanced technologies, transforming the job market and the global economy. However, such shifts could also exacerbate socioeconomic inequalities if access to these resources is not equitably distributed. Education would need to adapt to incorporate the new knowledge into curricula, potentially reshaping fields like biology, physics, and astronomy. Additionally, societal institutions such as law enforcement and the judicial system would have to evolve to deal with novel issues and complications arising from interactions with advanced life. So, what do you make of these recent announcements?
Listen, man, this is all brand new, and we have to treat it as such. It's all brand new. Nobody knows where to go from here other than the government as far as what they already have figured out about it since it's been in their possession for I don't know how long. You know what I mean? So we would have to take a few cues from them. But once we're brought up to speed and the public is given the truth and the transparency, then we take it from there, man, one step at a time. You know what I mean? And like I said, this could bring us together and stop all of this that's going on out in the world right now. But y'all get at me in the comment section, man, and let me know what you think. All right? And stick around and stay tuned. Till next one, I'm gone. Peace.